Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. So that was entertaining. Gina comes in on two wheels at 6:14. Then wants to
Yelling
start.
at me.
Wants to start arguing
I'm
with
not done
everybody.
yelling.
My
I'm not
second,
done yelling.
the second sip of coffee, and I'm already getting yelled at.
You can keep yelling. You just can't roll in at 6:14 when we're trying to start a live.
The show didn't start yet. It was 6:15. I'm not late.
God. Then, so no, well, say Mike was saying the eye tape, the eye patch.
The underneath, it's.
Oh yeah, the teens do it. I'm trying to remain young. You know what I mean? So put the eye patch underneath. I tried it this week, so maybe I don't look tired.
Oh yeah, because
has green tea in it, so it's supposed to enhance.
I don't need one for my entire face for this.
Less puffiness around the eyes.
Mass contraction.
I'll have to ask my mother after the show. I'm sure she'll critique.
Virginia, you look tired.
And then I've seen face tape.
Where it's like the mouth tape.
No, not the mouth tape too. Yeah, but like this mouth is nose, but then people are taping their face for wrinkles.
Oh,
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
You shouldn't do all of the things.
Yeah. All right. So today.
Wait, before you get going, you said it came in hot. What's up with that NyQuil shit that you drank last night?
Well, yeah. Hang on.
Are you drinking that?
He was drinking that. That's.
Oh.
I thought you can't get going on the show yet until we discuss the NyQuil.
We will discuss this, but I have to get it.
NyQuil for people with diabetes. Sugar-free NyQuil.
Joe, that goes against everything that you believe in. Like everything.
Well, first off, is our Instagram up? Can you guys see it?
I don't see it. I usually get a notification. I didn't get a notification.
Hold on, let's look.
We gotta prioritize something going wrong.
No.
Just YouTube right now.
No, it should be coming in now.
Oh, here it is. It's coming in hot, just like this morning.
Just like you. All right. For whatever reason, it didn't pop up. Well, I'm glad I did that. So now we'll. There we go. All right. So. Yeah. Well. Yes. So the NyQuil for diabetes.
Does it give you diabetes, or it's what is it?
No, it's just no sugar. It's sugar-free. Sugar-free.
It goes against everything that you.
Yeah, but my other option was take a friggin' shot of NyQuil that's jammed with sugar right before bed. It'll spike my blood sugar. It'll crash in the middle of the night, and I'll be a wreck.
Disaster. Have you tried? So, were you not able to sleep, or are you sick?
No, so it was weird. For like a week, I had just this lingering thing that was keeping me from sleep, and I was getting super bitchy and tired. And then the past 2 days, I was out of the woods. And then last night, it started to come back again. I'm like, I can't fucking not sleep again. I'm like, I gotta sleep. So, well, YouTube's getting wild already this morning.
Oh my.
Usually it waits a little bit, and usually it's directed at you, Regina.
Now Joe's got it.
I'm taking shrapnel right now. Fucking YouTube people are wild.
Are you on there, Regina? Can you see the comments on the right?
I can see them. Yeah.
All right.
Good morning, Nicole. Good morning.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, I just got to sleep because I hadn't been sleeping good for a week. So I just took a shot and I'm ready to go. So
I'm gonna
here's
give you
our topics.
magnesium instead.
Yeah.
I've been taking magnesium, zinc, the whole shooting match.
Karen didn't try to kill you with the oregano oil again.
No, then her
Oh,
new
man.
thing is grapefruit seed extract. That supposedly, if you have a cold coming on, you're supposed to take that.
I haven't
So-
heard of that one yet.
Yeah, but I don't do that. I do the fermented cod liver oil. It usually works good, except for this go around. All right, so what do we got today? How about we throw up our friends at Citywide while I do this? So there's two housing ones that I think have some pretty interesting data, some dollar values on stuff that I knew trying to get a permit and trying to get all the entitlements done to build a building is an expensive task, but it didn't even surprise me. So we're going to cover that. It talks about LA, it talks about Rhode Island, some national info. We had Tallahassee. I don't know why you two are laughing. Tallahassee evicted. I think it looked like there was, well, the woman said over 100 people in the building got evicted because of fire and structural issues. Zoning regs, unlike the last time where we were critical of the zoning stuff, where they, were not going to really help blight. This one seems like it might actually help some blight. And Rhode Island numbers on ADUs. Am I missing anything? I do not think so.
I don't think so. I know I've been distracting you this morning, but I do have a hard stop this morning at 7, so you boys better.
We'll do it.
Do it.
'Cause I get the
You've
same
been
thing. I
late.
got to be in Waltham at 9, so I'm going to literally run out of this room at 7.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means. I'll stop. All right, no more YouTube comments. They're a demented bunch. Where do we want to go?
Just do it. Do it.
Housing?
Yeah.
All right. Housing. First, it's like a two-part. So construction physics did one on housing in general. It talked about the cost of permitting, and somebody studied the effect of by looking at similar lots that sold, one with permit, one without permit, what was the delta of it sold. And the long story short is, I have to kill the YouTube comments. I'm just gonna put them off to the side. I can't. Long story short is, after looking at the data, it came out to $48 a square foot more for a piece of land that has the entitlements done,
Right.
permitting all done. That's crazy. Just for numbers, if you took just a 20,000 square foot lot, which is not a big lot, but a lot you could build on in the city, at $48 a square foot, that'd be $960,000. So $1 million more for just a 20,000 square foot lot if you've got the permit.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to sit on it. All right. Nobody wants to put the effort in. And that's what
Who
I've
wants
been
to go
telling
through
people.
all the?
Yeah.
Who wants to go
carrying
through all the bullshit?
costs and not knowing, like the fact that you get, I know a couple of people right now sitting in Boston that have lots in very active construction areas. It's family lots that have been around for 70 years, to crying out loud. And they're like, we don't want to develop these. Like, what? I'm like, do the permitting, get the permitting done, have somebody pay somebody to do the permitting for you, get the permitting done, get as many units as you can. They own a couple of lots side by side. Like, get as many units as you can and then sell the property, because you selling it permitted, you're going to make more money than if you try to develop it yourself. Right.
And less headaches after, like in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
so it's crazy that people don't want to deal with the process. Right. And it's unnecessary, because it doesn't have to be the process that it is. We talk about it all the time, right? The red tape, the delays, the what ifs, the extra documents, it's nuts. That's a direct reflection on the fact people don't want to deal with the process and how
now
onerous
the people that you're referring to, are they in the industry, or they just own land and
they just own land. That's
so
it.
imagine like not being in the industry at all and then attempting to go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but that's intense. Like $48 a square foot additional just because you have a permit in hand. And I mean, we talk about that's just not like the cash output for like filing and getting documents and consultants and engineers and attorneys and all that stuff. Like that's all costs that you don't have to pay. But those actual costs are pretty low compared to the time and the carrying costs.
Right.
But I mean, what does it take? 2 years? 4 years to get a permit
Depends.
for something?
If it's a bigger
developed in the city?
project, and I didn't see, did it talk about the size of the actual project? I know they said 20,000 square feet, which is half an acre. That's not a big lot.
Yeah, that's what I just picked a random number. I just picked 20,000 square
Oh, I
feet.
see. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right.
Just to get some, just so somebody, because you say $48 a square foot more. Well, what does that even mean? So I'm
Right.
saying even a small lot, it's an additional $1 million in cost.
Yep.
You get a normal size lot. Now, in fairness, this is LA that we're talking about,
Yep.
right? So it's probably going to get discounted if we're somewhere else.
Right.
You know, Boston would probably be even discount from LA as horrible as it is. And then they also talked about they're saying permitting can explain 1/3 of the gap in Los Angeles between home prices and construction costs. So I didn't understand what they were saying there. Did you guys?
No, I don't.
So I think they were saying that if the cost to build it plus what it sells for, 1/3 of that cost of what it additional of what it sells for is permitting costs.
Right.
So I guess if they built it for 500,000, sold it for 800,000, you've got that 300,000
Yeah. Yeah.
profit. 100 of it is just to pay for permitting. So
Right.
in theory, the housing would be 700 if it wasn't for permitting. I don't know how realistic
Yeah.
that is.
It's the permitting. The costs have become. We've talked about this before as well. The costs have become. Towns, cities, doesn't matter where you are, started relying on permit costs, right? So it's anticipated when you do the budget every year, and you have anticipated growth or anticipated revenue. It's anticipated as revenue every year for a municipality to use for rainy day fund or whatever it might be that they need it for. Most likely it's going to go to the schools is where it's going to be transferred to, right? Because that's where most of the budget in the municipality goes. But yeah, it's crazy that it has become a tax, right? It's become a tax on the projects. And that's what people are always saying. If it doesn't cover the cost of the project, what it costs to administer the code and what it costs to administer, the permit process, then it becomes a tax.
Yeah.
I have one town that they'll reach out to say, like, what do you have a lot coming up? Like, so they can kind of forecast.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know they reach out to like all my competitors too. So.
Wow.
Right.
The other thing Construction Physics talked about was the ban on investors buying single-family homes. That's been floated out there recently. I think we've talked about it. It's shown that it doesn't affect housing costs.
Which is crazy because everywhere in Europe, like that's the big thing. They're pushing back. Ireland, they're talking about the housing crisis and people buying the apartments and not having them available. Portugal, where we've been all over as far as looking at listings and whatnot, and they just put a ban and then took the ban off of new Airbnbs because they all say that in the Cape, they send the same thing down the Cape now. We used to have the weekly rentals that people own. Now you have Airbnb. They say that the more Airbnbs that are owned, the less availability of. See, that's what I don't understand. I would say that it does affect, supply and demand. So if people are coming in, I didn't understand that position from that person because if you have investors coming in, right, and they're buying up all of the apartment units, and there's less supply for, 365-day-a-year residents. Isn't that the same issue we're talking about available housing like here in Massachusetts, where if we have more available housing, the cost is going to go down? So I don't understand the nexus that they're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, anything I've read is they've said it's actually such a small percentage that there doesn't seem to be a big impact from it. But I think, like you, that was going to be kind of my conclusion, which is, hey, if it's 100 less people looking for houses, it takes some of the pressure off. And they're doing single family, right? We're not talking about apartments. They can still buy apartment buildings.
Yep.
But then my fear is, like, when we had the 2008, the banking crisis, and there was whole subdivisions that were sitting there like they were like legit ghost towns.
Yep.
Right? Empty, half-built developments. It was big companies that came in and bought them cheap, fixed them up, and then got them back on the market later. So do we really want to ban them? Or do we ban them now, and then if we need them later, we lift it?
How can you ban a private sale?
I don't understand that either. Yeah, because here's the thing. If I own my home and I have BlackRock or whatever willing to pay me 20% over market, shouldn't I be allowed to take it?
Yeah, and then we're going to say, we're going to stop LLCs or corporations from buying. How do you do that? Most people in a couple of the towns that I worked in, most people buy their houses in LLCs in corporations.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're playing a different tax game than we are.
Well, and then when you look up the corporation is owned by a corporation that's owned by another corporation. So
yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So and he cited in 2022 there was a ban on investors buying homes for rent in the Netherlands, and it didn't affect home prices.
Right.
So home prices didn't come down. So they said, okay, nobody else can buy these anymore. Home prices still didn't go down. And I've read probably at least a half a dozen things from different sources citing different things. Everybody seems to think it doesn't really have an effect. They think it's kind of like a boogeyman. They're saying, oh, BlackRock is buying up all of our housing. And they're like, when you look at the data, it's not really panning out. So yeah, I'm with you, Mike, as well. I think you really can't tell people that they can't sell it to who they want to sell it to. I think that's kind of silly. But Trump and Elizabeth Warren are both on the same team on this one. So I have to imagine. Yeah. So I'm guessing it's going to go through.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. They both want to ban it. So my guess is it'll happen. All right. Now, our friends in Rhode Island. The governor is in a governor's race, and State House can't do anything to fix our housing crisis, but they can thank Rhode Island because Rhode Island is more fucked up than we are, and it actually makes us look pretty good when you look at Rhode Island. So that's my take on this next article. The headline was, "One type of new housing in Rhode Island continues to flounder." Yes, and guess what type they're talking about, folks?
ADUs.
Everybody's favorite ADUs. So another little interesting fact in there is Rhode Island has the lowest per capita new units in the country being built.
Really?
And it sounds like it's been there for a while. Yeah, because
is Rhode Island the smallest state?
It is, but they're saying per capita. So they're saying adjusting for how many people are there, they produce the lowest amount of units. And it says, and the state still sits as building the fewest new units per capita. I don't understand.
Yeah, like they've been pretty proactive, though. You've had conversations with people down there about changing. They're one of the first states that went in with the pre-approved multifamily housing, right? So you pick and You got
Yep.
the so I mean ADUs. It's not a Rhode Island. Oh, I can't say it's not a Rhode Island issue because if they're not producing them, we're at least producing some of them here in Massachusetts. The issue is it's not affordable, right? It's not as cheap as everybody thought it was slapping another unit on your
Or
property.
it's easy to just
No, it's not
get
easy.
through
It's not
the
affordable.
process.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and everybody's different. So it's
it's always the foundation, water, sewer, septic, like all that is real cost, and everybody thinks like, oh, you can just drop this prefab unit there. Okay, well, you still need a toilet. Where's the toilet flushing, right?
still need a foundation.
Yep, you need an electrical
septic,
service,
sewer.
right? So, and then you need a permit, and that's the thing they're talking about. So that was fewest units, period, right?
Yeah.
That's not ADUs. So they're the lowest per capita at building units in the country. Then you go to the ADUs, which they passed initiatives to streamline the process. Right. We've heard that before. And last year, just 82 certificate of occupancies were issued statewide. So in the entire state, they got 82 ADUs. That was up marginally from 73 last year.
Yeah.
For reference, what was Massachusetts? It was like 1,100 or 1,200
Yeah.
units.
Yep.
We're not 100 times big, and we're not 10 times bigger than Rhode Island, right? That's just not the case. What's some other interesting?
Which is interesting because one of the things I point out about Rhode Island is their permitting. They went statewide, statewide uniform permitting across all of their counties, across all their municipalities. They essentially said you have to go on the same permitting system so that it's uniform. The process is uniform across the state, right? So I think they all have OpenGov. So, that was
just last year, though, right?
I think it might have been a couple years ago, but it is new. But it just baffles me that they seem on the surface when you read about their initiatives and you read about what they're doing to try to streamline the fact that they're not producing units. Like, what is it? Is it the localities? Is it people just don't want to build it? I mean, there's
But
a ton of
I mean, I don't work out of the Rhode Island office, but I know we have a lot of school projects down there. So it's
you get Providence, you have Brown,
not even that though. Ride, Rhode Island, whatever.
The public schools.
The public schools are.
Well, because I want to say it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I think they were in such bad shape. They were either required or they chose to drop something like $8 billion into schools.
And there's been a lot of activity. So they're investing that way. I mean, I know the builders, it's different for private, but the school systems are at least,
Yeah, there's definitely activity. Rhode Island and Connecticut actually have kind of more construction going on than Massachusetts. If you from their baseline, I would say they're more up and we're more down from our baseline. But this is housing units.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand Rhode Island. They can't, even the average median price of a single family home is $500,000. And they're complaining about it in this article that it's expensive, but that's actually not that bad comparatively to neighboring states.
Right.
And why can't Rhode Island get out of its own way? I don't understand it. They've got everything. They've got beautiful beaches. They have great schools, Ivy League schools. They've got great food. You look at anywhere else on the East Coast and they're booming. And then for whatever reason, Rhode Island doesn't ever take off. Why are there not a ton of high-rise condos in Providence?
Right.
It's an awesome city.
I love Providence. It is a cool little city.
Yeah. And food, culture, water. They've got friggin' everything going on there. RISD, so there's like a huge art culture and theater and but they can't I can't get out of their own way. I don't know what the hell the problem. Every time I ask somebody from Rhode Island, I said, what's going on there? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. They all say it's corrupt.
That's why I love it.
We need Buddy back.
They do need Buddy back. Yeah, because
stuff was getting done. There was a lot of money being exchanged, but stuff was getting done.
Yeah, so that's, and it's funny every time I ask someone from Rhode Island, because that's my usual question to them. Like, you got, it's an awesome state. Narragansett, Block Island, I mean, it's friggin' Newport with the man. Like, Rhode Island should be absolutely killing it. It's a
nice little airport. State. You get in, you get out.
Yeah, it's like perfection. You know, I would want to move there, but like for whatever reason, they just can't get out of their own way. It's crazy. They're looking at
the YouTube is crazy this morning.
Yeah, you guys seeing? Oh yeah, Timmy says bring back Buddy Cianci. Yeah, that's what Mike was saying.
I'm telling you,
great book, Prince of Providence. You ever read it?
Nope.
It's a good read. Timmy O'Neill, read that one about Buddy Cianci. It's great. When I had Ward 4 in Boston, I was going to do the annual inspection on. They had a halfway house, and the guy was like, "Oh, he's like, this probably isn't a good day." He's like, "Buddy Cianci's coming today." Because he got out of prison, and that was the halfway house. I don't know why they sent him to Massachusetts. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Buddy could get it done.
Great tomatoes.
Yes, good tomato sauce too. So then the only significant good news was that the number of ADUs seeking approval increased from 149 to 262, but few were converted to completion. So they had applications go up, but it's not happening. Oh, another one. So Providence, again, like awesome city. How this is the case, I do not know. ADU COs fell. They had 10 last year. I mean, in 2024, and they had 5 in 2025. How?
I don't know. I don't know their regs either. What if they're similar to Massachusetts, or if they're a little different than Massachusetts, but it's got to be like it's got to be palatable. Like, people have to want to build it, right? And two things have happened with ADUs. One, yeah, there's initiatives for permitting and whatnot, but the process actually has to be palatable for homeowners, because there's developers out there that are doing this, and builders and people that are pushing the ADUs. But it's got to be palatable for people to want to go through the process. And then on the second side, the affordability of it, and I'm not talking even about affordable units. I'm talking about, being able to build it for a reasonable amount of money with, sewer connections now. When you're on sewer and you don't have septic and you connect into a sewer, or even constructing a new septic system for the ADU, and then electrical connections. Well, we don't want you to connect it to the existing house. It's got to go to, its own service for people that, want to utilize an existing service and not have to bring in a new drop from the utility pole. So it's become, where they thought it was going to be this easy fix to drop ADUs into properties, it's become this onerous process and expensive process, to undertake. So, but why Providence is, an issue, I don't know. I don't know why they're having such a hard time.
Yeah. I mean, because the new build ADU, I can understand that, right? That's probably not ideal for Providence or a city. It's probably a lot more challenging. You won't get as many of those. But those are the ones that are most expensive. Mm-hmm. Your best bet for ADU is converting an attic, like a walk-up attic or a basement apartment. Like, there's the low-hanging fruit that should be happening, and that's where they should be going even more in the city. Yep. Right? Because you're right, Mike. Like, this dream of it being an inexpensive way to add new housing is, I think, a bit of a fallacy when it comes to putting a new building. on the property for all the reasons you just said, with the utilities, the permitting, right? Because is there that much difference on the permitting if you want to build a new structure
Right.
for an ADU?
Nope.
Even though you have all these rules in place?
It's not a slam dunk.
No, it's not a slam dunk. I see you both grin. I put the comments up because you guys said that, and the first thing I see is I'm a booty warrior. So I'm like, I gotta leave. I'm leaving the
It's
chat.
very distracting.
Yes, leaving that chat.
India for hamburger helper too.
Yeah. So when we do the live show, we should have the chats up.
No, we gotta
Right?
put it on the screen up
We'll
above.
put it on the screen, and then it'll be a complete disaster.
Kaden,
So-
why don't you show everyone what's going on?
Yeah, there you go. You can find some hits in there, Caden. You think someday we could meet and make a hamburger helper together? There you go. After this, they will go to India and make hamburger helper with you. Maybe Steph Capro says booty warrior. Yeah. Steph's a booty warrior. There we go. Never mind. There must be somebody help me out in the chat. What is hamburger helper? It must mean something. So, all right. Caden, the turtle one. That was. I think that actually took the cake. Wait for this one, Steph. Caden, find the turtle one.
Awesome.
The one and only Nicole.
Amazing. Thanks, Nicole. And I would say they're not real people, but who else thinks of that nonsense? Yeah, now completely sidetracked. Okay, so the other pieces they're saying this was not construction physics. I'm not sure where this one was from, but there was a note. This realtor was citing a National Association of Realtor study, saying that it can cost as high as $90,000 for regulatory fees for zoning, engineering, and permits.
Now this is for Rhode Island still.
Was that national?
This is same Rhode Island article. So, but I think that, like Mike said, the data is national.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's high, but when you're getting into municipalities requiring, sewer connections, right? Infiltration fees, sewer connections, that gets expensive for some municipalities. And some municipalities are not following. We had that federal judgment not too long ago regarding, the development fees. It went to the Supreme Court, the development fees being proportional to the actual project. The country's still not following that. Municipalities, states are still not following that. So you get these crazy, crazy fees for connection to the municipal sewer system, and even, site plan fees for, whatever it might be, for development fees that people add on top to fatten their coffers in the municipality. And it's making it so that it's not affordable. You're going to start seeing it here more and more in the state, where people thought that this was the answer to affordable housing to get people, into housing, but it's not. I just keep saying to people, look, it's not. I don't think the intent was to create an affordable place to live. I think some of it was, and that was where people were looking. But the intent is to get more units on the docket here, so that there's more units available. The opposite of what we were just talking about, previously about, the Airbnb and people renting out houses and whatnot, not having those available for rental stock. I think the idea was get more housing, out there on the market, so that there's more housing available, thus making the supply larger, so that the demand becomes less. So I think that was the intent. But again, what we're finding is, and you're going to see more and more articles about it soon, is that it's just not an affordable option. And Rhode Island seems to be
showing that.
Seems to be having a harder time than most with that not being the affordable option.
Yeah. I mean, I want to get back to that 90,000 though, because that checks with, we had Georgie on, and he shared some numbers on X, and they weren't even talking about the utility stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Right?
That include, right. Oh, no. So Georgie wasn't talking about the connections and whatever. Right.
Yeah,
So he
but
wasn't
even
talking about the civil aspect.
yeah, so this is saying zoning, engineering, and permits all before a single nail is pounded into a piece of lumber. So I think they're not even talking about run-in utilities, any kind of that. That just permitting, attorney's fees, engineering fees. Now those are costs that are going to be there, like the engineering fees,
Yep.
right? You have to design the building, so that's not. But why it's important though is you're spending all that money before you know if you can even get a permit.
Right.
So 90 grand, like that's an insane amount of money. And then you compare that to the $48 a square foot, right? So it's a challenge. Something needs to be done about it. It's interesting what you said, Mike, where the fees have to be commensurate with the value of the building.
Yep.
I saw an interesting one. I don't know how we're doing with time, but I almost wanted to put it on the rundown, but I didn't know how interesting you guys would find it. But so they're trying to get some clarity on tax law because they've now allowed for new like accelerated depreciation on real estate, right? So rather than having to depreciate the asset over 27 years, they're saying like within 1 or 3 years, you can basically write that all off right away.
Yep.
But there's a debate, which is the way the language written, is it the structure or can you count like the parking lot, the water line to the building, the sewer, is all of that the building?
Right. Even the water lines, the sewer lines, really?
Well, in many municipalities, you're responsible for the upkeep of that, right? So over time, at some point you're going to have to replace it, and there is a depreciation on, the asphalt and so I get it.
Yeah. So when they say the cost of the building, you can depreciate. Can you include all the site utilities and all of that work? Does that get lumped in, and can you write that down? So. Yeah, it's interesting. Just I was like, huh, I would have thought of that.
Right.
To your point, Reg, like, okay, so the water pipe, when it leaves the foundation, isn't part of the building anymore, right? It doesn't seem to make sense, but I thought that was just an interesting point. So what's Cathal say? Why can't you do a pre-planning consultation?
Some places do that, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, you should. We've talked about this before, and you should. So, for instance, what they are doing in the city that is great to vet out the office to residential housing is they're getting everybody that has a stake in permitting on a meeting prior to, any plans going forward, which is great. But yeah, I mean, there are so many projects that it'd be difficult, but you should have a pre-meeting on any major project, or even a homeowner that wants to come in and talk about their ADU and constructing the ADU. That the best thing you can do is have pre-construction meetings, and building commissioners and building departments and planning officials are like, oh, we don't have any stuff out before the project starts and set an agenda. I used to talk about occupancy at the pre-construction meeting, just so everyone was understanding what needed to be done during the project. What does that do? Yeah, there's still problems during the project, and there's still issues that happen. You have to triage stuff, but it shakes out a lot of the issues that you're spending time during the project handling. So if you set out expectations prior and what's going to be required and documentation and at different phases, inspections, and it helps you out as far as time goes. So pre-construction meetings, those should be standard. You should be required to have pre-construction meetings, right? Major projects, obviously, yes.
Different than
projects.
Different than pre-planning, though. Cathal's saying pre-planning, right? So I agree. I 1,000% agree with pre-construction, but I think he's saying like, why not allow for them to come down and say, "Hey, we're thinking of building this. Would that be allowed? And what would be the troubles?"
Here's the problem. There are building departments that are like, oh, we're not going to tell you if you can build that. You need to submit. Yeah. No, that's not good.
We're not going to do your work for you. You need to,
But that's bullshit. That is bullshit. So he's 100% correct. There should be pre-planning. That was one of the things I like to do, and not to, I don't want to use the I in this, but if you're doing a good job at the counter, you're doing a good job in the building department. That's why we call it administering the code. You are the second set of eyes. You're the code professional. You're the zoning professional in that town as the building official, the building commissioner. So you should be assisting, citizens and whatnot when they come in and say, hey, I want to put an ADU in. All right, come in 1 o'clock on Tuesday and we'll sit down and we'll talk about, what you can and can't do. And then it's up to them to design. But pre-planning, it's the same as pre-construction. If you're doing that, you're saving yourself when the permit comes in, if you're hashing out all of the issues.
But if you're in like a big city and you have every single individual coming in and doing that, how do you manage that?
But you're not. In Boston, for instance, has a stop, right? You can go. They have that desk.
They have a zoning.
They have what do they call it? They used to call it zoning clinic as well.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah. So they do have the ability, right, to come in and talk it over.
But then, I mean, even for zoning though, it's like it's not a straight line after that. So if you come in and you meet with ISD, then it gets a little squiggly after.
Yeah,
right.
And
so there's only, if you could get everybody in the same room.
So that's a little different, like organizing all the stakeholders in one room at the same time, right?
And let's be fair also. What's going to happen, like when they say, oh yeah, it looks like you can build this. And then they go down and they actually get refused. And then they flip the fuck out because they're like, you told me, and then I spent all this money. There will be so many calls to whether you have a city council or the mayor's office, people losing their minds. And then we all know it could be because they missed something, or it could be what the person told me is not what's on the drawings.
Mm-hmm.
They said they wanted to do this, and we said, yes, you could do that. But the chaos that will cause.
Yeah, but that's with anything. That's just, explaining to people, hey, we're going to talk about this now, but it doesn't reflect, if something changes, it could,
people are crazy. Like to Joe's point, people are.
I mean, I think you still got to do it, but like I can just see why building officials would be hesitant to have that conversation. Would certainly understand that. All right, want to thank Citywide, great construction managers here locally. They self-perform a lot of their work. Some cases they actually will do subcontracting. They have a great millwork shop. They can produce the millwork for your project. I believe they're shortly going to be doing it for other projects as well. So they support us. They support the Mass Construction Show. They are going to have some folks at the Rundown meetup. I think we're at about 30 people right now, which is great. I think I kind of have to pump the brakes there for room size. Also, Catho's mentioning Thursday at the Dubliner, the Irish Construction Network. I think Pete said he was going to be there as well. So I don't know if you guys can still make that, but
I want to make the effort. Reggie double booked herself.
I double booked Women in Construction Week.
Okay.
And then if you want to watch Mike ice skate next week, he's skating with Citywide. Let's not forget to advertise that.
That's right. That's right.
I might
love
go
it.
and
Nice
cheer him on.
uniforms, though. Nice uniforms. Citywide construction uniforms.
I know. I wish we could pull those up, but it's 6:59. We can't. Timmy says, let's send the YouTube commenters in for the pre-con meeting with the building department. Yes. Yeah. Wait, what was the one that
It's the development team. It looks like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
This is my favorite. You're welcome.
Listen, we just like to make people comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, taking a morning dump and having something to watch. I mean, that's a good life. I hope that Mini Jim, had a cup of coffee with him too while he was in there.
Oh yeah,
that would be entertaining.
Hopefully he was in the bathroom when he was doing it, though.
That's questionable with
He
the
got out of
YouTubers.
bed.
You never know. Oh, I thought I was taken there. Thanks, Caden. But all right, Reggie and I are both gonna run. Thanks everyone.
All right.
Stay on so you don't lose we don't
Oh,
lose
that's
the
right.
recording.
Thank
So
you.
just leave. All right. See you
All
guys.
right.
Bye.